But I would say do not overlook things. So, and particularly in rooms where there are no Black or Asian people at all. And it's how can you stand up in those rooms where people aren't in there, where if you see there's an absence of voice, you can say, where are the Black people? Why are we talking about this policy? Or where are the Asian people? Where we're talking about them? So it's using that voice, whether people can see you doing it, or when you know it's the right thing to do, because actually we're missing a trick here and we need to include them in this conversation.
Can we talk about the race pay gap and the campaigning work that you've got going on this? Because I think people will have seen the gender pay gap, the impact that had when it was released. You only need to look at, for instance, the BBC and how they publish those numbers now, and you see men and women in certain areas finding themselves on more equal footing, almost because of the bad publicity which comes from that particular issue. You focus you focused in the past on the race pay gap as well, and you've called on the government for them to essentially tell companies, particularly the large companies, to produce and report what their racial pay gap is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I, in collaboration with the government, I included the question: are you collecting your pay gap data? Only 11% said that they felt their organisations were capturing this data. That's the large organisations. And it was 8% for the smaller ones. So obviously what had happened is that gender pay gap reporting didn't amazingly, just morph into everyone said, oh, let me do our ethnicity too. No, that didn't happen. So they, spearheaded the consultation and said they were ready to act if employers didn't act voluntarily, and they haven't done so. And yes, we've had a bit of turbulence, change of prime minister, change of government, Brexit, etc., coronavirus, but the time for action is now, because that consultation closed in January 2019. We had meetings throughout the year, and now we're into 2020, and this year's almost finished.